you all a fantastic day. I'm Richard Daniel, joining from Colombo. So, first and foremost, a warm welcome to all our participants who have gathered here with us today. So, it's an unforgettable journey into knowledge and limitless career possibilities. You're all fortunate to be a part of this exclusive session where we'll be unveiling key insights of not just accounting softwares, but overall what it takes to venture into being an Australian accountant. So let's kick things off with a question. Why we all gathered here today? I'm sure all of you are having your personal commitments and contingencies. So what's the whole point of being here? Well, in today's global context, the world craves the prowess of an accountant, and not just any accountant, but a modernized accountant. Because gone are the days of a traditional accountant, and right now the demand is increasingly pivotal for accountants in public and private sectors. Imagine a life of quality, career growth, and great pay. This magical blend is drawing migrants to Australia in unprecedented numbers. Picture reality where salary aligns with work life balance. It's not just a fairy tale, thousands live it. The best part, you don't need to be in Australia to do it. You can join a BPO and you can also freelance from the comfort of your own home. So, what coming to a BPO, I'm sure all of you must be wondering, what is a BPO? Well, let me give you an introduction of a BPO firsthand. Well, fantastic, everyone. So basically, now that you have caught a glimpse of our overall goals today, it is time to brace yourselves for an exploration of three of the most prominent software that you would learn today, and discovering the magic of these tools in empowering a typical accountant to be transformed to a job-ready accountant in a complex world of opportunities. But wait, there's more. Dive into Brisca Education's complimentary mini course in the midst of it all and obtain a sneak peek of the knowledge you can ingrain from Brisca Education. So I'm sure all of you guys are wondering what we have in store for you. So to start with, let us come to the accounts payable management. Now, when it comes to the accounts payable management, it is one of the most integral components an accountant needs to go, especially if he wants to go in the pathway of, in terms of, could be migration plans, or it could be working as a freelancer. So here's to Amjad. We'll be kicking this particular accounts payable structure first. So before we get things started, we have a lot of senior accountants with us today. We have Tirina Eranda, and we have Hashini Pereira, we have Pumi, and we have Amjad, as I said. And all four of them, they are accountants managing portfolios of diverse companies, including large and medium scale entrepreneurs. Okay, so without further ado, let me pass it on to Amjad, who will take you on a walkthrough of what accounts payable really is.
Thank you, Daniel. So I'm Amjad, and I'll be a coach for Xero Accounts Payable today. Just a heads up, just before we start, I will be using a lot of accounts terms, and I'm going to assume you're aware of most of them. So let me start by sharing my screen. You can see. Right. Hope you can see my screen. And then. So right before we walk through accounts payable, let me first give you a very brief intro into Xero. As soon as we land into Xero, the very first page that you're going to see is this dashboard. So what is this dashboard? This is simply a snapshot of the whole business. So this is where all the bank transactions, all the bank accounts, you can see key expenses and an overview of invoices and bills. All of this will be in this section. This is simply an overview of the entire business, and the best of it all, this can be customized. Let me then navigate across the other tabs. Then we have the business tab, which is where all of the invoices and bills get recorded. Everything, all of the bills, invoices, POs get recorded through this tab. And then we have the accounting tab, which is a very interesting one because all your reports, your P&L, balance sheet, your analysis will you will use this tab a lot for all of these analysis. And one of the most interesting things here is I myself keep exploring and learning new things always through this tab. And then we have payroll tab and the contacts tab. So then let me jump on to accounts payable or the bill side of it. And I have a bill ready for you. Let me show that. So we'll have a quick look at this bill. So this is a bill from Quick Commercial, and you can also see the address and to whom it is billed, which is demo, which is us in the scenario. And you can also see the invoice number, the date, the items, and the payment details. So that is a quick walk through the bill. Let me jump back to Xero and start by creating a contact. So I'll jump into the contact section. Okay. Let me click on new contact. Right. So I might have to go back to the bill to see in the details. So I'm going to say it's quick commercial cleaning, and I'll add in that name, the business name. And then I will add in the first name and the last name. I'm going to scroll through the bill to see if I can find that details. I can't. I would love to find it. We'll make it a very complete one. So for the moment, I'm going to go with accounts. And I'll say abc@gmail.com. And if there is a phone number, I can also enter that. If we have an ABN, which is the Australian business number, I could also enter that. Let me give a try to see if I can find that. I can't. I'll go back to Xero. And I can also enter the address. So there's a catch here. You can see as soon as I enter part of the address, it will prompt me the address. And all I have to do is just select from the prompt. Say add address. Once that is done, I also can choose from the payment terms, which is very interesting. So I'm going to just use 7 days payment term just for demonstration purposes. And I'm done with the invoice. There's more details that we can add, including the financial details, which I'm going to skip for now and say save and close. Okay, we have a problem. Let me go back and see. So we already have the contact. Right. The contact is created, as you can see. Now I'm going to go back and create a bill. For that, we'll switch gears back to the business tab and bills to pay. So we are at the bills tray here. Right. You can see this green button that says new bill. I'm going to click on that and look for the supplier that we just entered. But there's an interesting catch here. One very interesting feature is I can simply drag and drop this bill to enter it into Xero. And there I have a copy of the bill uploaded right here. So I'm going to just have a look at that while I create the bill. Makes it easier. I'll search for the supplier from the list, the one that I just created. And I'm going to add in the date from the bill, which is 26th December. Okay. You can see as soon as I had the date entered, it automatically prompts with the payment term, and then I'll add in the reference. And I'll also add in the description, which is cleaning of premises. And I'll add in the quantity. The unit price is 425 and the account. So I could also make a default prompt for this. We can look at how that is when we are working through the sessions, if I get to see you there. And then I have the bill entered. So right before I approve, I'm going to cross-check with the amount to see if that is correct. You can see there's a mistake or it doesn't match. So what are we going to do? I'm going to adjust the GST, which we can have a look at probably one time when you dig into Xero. And amounts match. I'm going to approve it. And that's it. The bill is entered. You can see the bill here. We'll go back to the accounts, the business tab, the bills tray, and look at the bill 213 to see the bill that we entered. I'm going to type in the bill reference, or I can also type in the contact name. Here you see the bill that we just entered with also the uploaded copy of it. And that's it about entering bills. Let me hand it over back to Daniel.
Wow, it's interesting, Amjad, to know, about the demonstration. I'm inquisitive though. What is an ABA? I couldn't help but noticing that because ABA is a terminology that one hardly hears in a country like Sri Lanka.
Right, Daniel. So ABA is simply, or it technically stands for Australian Banking Association. It is a term that we don't see a lot in Sri Lanka, but it is a template of a file that we upload to the Australian internet banking in order to capture the payments. That is simply what ABA is.
Wow, so it was a complete surprise. You just took us through a walkthrough in terms of one of the most prominent softwares, Xero. So I wasn't aware of that, but it was really an insightful one. And coming to about to Xero, it's amazing that we can see the bills connected to Xero, integrated with Xero. So does that mean that we can't see physical copies of these bills in Australia as well?
Actually, that's true. To a great extent, we are not going to see physical bills. We are going to see soft copies land directly to the bills tray or directly to the accounts division. And just like you said, Xero is such a very user-friendly software, which really makes our jobs as accountants really easy. Back to you, Daniel.
Okay, that is really great. So when it comes actually to the accountant's journey, when it comes to an Australian accountant's journey, this is one of the most integral components that you need to have when it comes to landing a job as an Australian accountant. So when it comes to, when it comes to these softwares, these optical character recognition softwares, so it is a really useful technique in terms of getting integrated with Xero and all the other accounting softwares. So now coming back to the next part of it. So it is yet another most prominent feature that we need to show. Any guesses? So when it comes to the respective OCR character readers, okay. So I have seen some of these particular builds that are integrated in terms of the accounting softwares like Xero and QuickBooks. So does that mean, is there a way that we can get these demonstrated, Amna?
Of course, Daniel. So what happens there is bills directly land onto. So what we can do is in Australia, bills can directly be scanned from devices or maybe scanned from whatever the device that you have, maybe a phone, and it directly lands into the bill tray. Let me actually show you how that works. Let me share my screen. Hope you can see my screen. And then if I click at the top right, I'm going to see something that says HubDoc. So in this case, you can see it's not integrated, but if it is integrated into Xero, it's a matter of scanning the bill through maybe a mobile phone, and it directly, and just with a few clicks, it directly lands onto the bill stream. There you see the bill. So which simply makes our jobs really easy. Yeah, so that's about it with HubDoc.
Great. So it's really interesting. We hope that you have got some insights on how the supplier bills are being made and paid and managed by businesses. So these are the things you have to learn and the systems you have to work on before starting to work for an Australian company. Now, coming to the next part, without further ado, speaking of softwares, it's time to give another sneak peek of yet one of the integral parts of accounting, which is the accounts receivable management, as some of you all have rightly guessed. through another equally prominent software, QuickBooks. So when it comes to QuickBooks and when it comes to the accounts receivable management, it is important to know that this software is ideal in terms of the functionalities, and I will be getting the help of the expert, Tilina Randa, to give us a hands-on demonstration in terms of the accounts receivable management in QuickBooks.
Thank you, Daniel, and good morning, every one of you. So, first of all, I should thank all of you for your time that you have dedicated for this session. So, I'm here to demonstrate the account receivable process in QuickBooks. So, let me share the screen first. So, this is the accounting. This is basically QuickBooks online accounting software. So, I would like to walk you through the dashboard before account receivable process is going to be started. So, the dashboard is a picture where you can see the summary of the company in a one snapshot. So, for example, I'll just like click this icon. So, there are three icons. This one, cash flow, is a newly added feature. So if you could see this, you can see this get things done in this under this tab. So you could see the most high risk activities that the company can prioritize. For example, the management is not in a position to look each and every process or each and every report in the company. The company staff is preparing. So they have to have a time to go through the most important high risk activities. So that as an accountant, what we can do is we can prioritize our high risk activities into a report. So it's something like here. So if the management wants to see the accounts receivable outstanding, which are be due more than 90 days, 120 days, where we need to have a chase after. So on the other side, the accounts payable, which we have to pay before the supplier disconnect our service. So other than that, like at what position that the company stands in, something like that. So the high risk activities could be integrated into a report where you can prioritize your reports into a place where the management has a point where they can see the reports in a very short period of time. And the business overview, it's basically shows you the snapshot of the company in a one picture. So for example, if you could see the invoices or how much you have earned up to a certain extent, up to a certain point, and also your company's financial position and the company's comprehensive income statement as of a particular day over a period of time, that is also there. So other than that, these bank accounts are the most important feature which we see in all of these softwares that we are going to discuss with you today. Basically, preview. So the bank accounts, in the sense, unlike in Sri Lanka, in here, we can integrate all the banking system the statements could be integrated with these softwares through payment gateways of those banks. So it's just a matter of clicking the bank reconciliation report, everything would be reconciled. So either you can import the reports manually, or else you can integrate the bank statements of the particular banks through a payment gateway to our system. So the bank reconciliation is just a matter of clicking, everything would be settled. So as I said, I told you that this is a newly added feature. I'm not going to discuss it here today. So moving forward, I would like to go to this tab as well before starting off with this accounts receivable process, customers and leads. This is also a very, I would say, a unique, where we don't see it in Xero, either in MYOB, I guess. This is an eminent feature, the marketing tool. This is, hope you have all known this MailChimp. MailChimp in this sense, like it's an automation, email and a document management software where we can integrate our system and we can import data from QuickBooks and we can integrate it and we can send off those details and data to the email management software. So that the management or the responsible person can correspond with the intended recipients through emails where your set of data would be exported from QuickBooks and also vice versa. So it's also an important feature where you don't see it in any software. So I would say this is the bunch of packages. I would say like that. So it's basically a very important feature. So it's time to go to this accounts receivable process now. I would say high time. So first of all, I would like to walk you through this tab. This is the customer. So as you can see, like Amna showed you a document where she prepared the invoice based on a source document. So I'm not going to share a source document. I would say, like, let's assume that you got a purchase order from a supplier, or you got a service document, or based on a contract that you have entered with the supplier. So you're going to sorry, the customer. So you're going to create the customer. Okay. So just click this icon, new customer. So here the title, first name, instance, this is the primary contact person or the responsible person that you may have to contact with in your future correspondence with the company's prospects. So that, like, I would say, like, you can just enter someone's name here. I would say I'll put my name. So once you put there, so if you want, you can put these other references as well. I would say, like, as long as you put all the data into the system, as long as you feed all the data, so you are in a high position to get the complete report. So I would say, like, the company name is ABCD Limited. So if you want to see the customer's display name in a different way, you can change it. So I'm going to change it. So as per your wish, so you can put the email addresses, phone numbers. I'm not going to put it here. So since we have a time restraint, so the mobile numbers, other basic contact details could be filled. So in here, billing address as well. So you can put the billing address. So the billing address could be entered manually. At the same time, if you want to have a preview of the address, you can just search it through the Google Maps. So if you want a verification or double verification, this is also an added feature here. So you can just add it here. So if the billing address and the shipping address are different, so you can click it here and you can enter the shipping address separately here as well. And the document, the service contract agreement, or the service, whatever the document that you have entered with this customer, could be attached as a even a maybe a agreement, sorry, a lease agreement or something based on your service or the production that you are being offering to the customer. You can put it here, attached here. Then the payment terms, as Amna explained here also, we've got the different options where you can select the customer's payment terms. And also if you have a different option, you can edit. So I would say, like, credit card. So, and then at the same time, you've got the payment method, and also you have to have a payment terms, whether you're paying on time or before the service is rendered, or in advance, or after 7 days, 14 days. So I'm going to put it 14 days. So these are also not mandatory, but if you wish, you can put it there. This is the most important thing when you're entering a customer, or when you're recording a customer for the very first time. The registration number, tax registration number. Before a tax registration number is assigned for a customer or a particular individual or a entrepreneur, so there should have a ABN number, should be business number, where it's linked to the tax registration number for a particular company or the individual. So the basic thing is that you have to have a complete and a valid ABN number. So if the document that you've been given is not sure about the number that you've been given alongside the document, so you can just click it here, look up ABN. This is an ABN lookup where you can verify the given details are correct or wrong. So based on that, you can just verify the ABN number, then you can put the tax registration number as well. Okay, I would say this one. So then as of the particular date, so I'm going to save it. So the customer is being saved. Okay, so since there are no transactions recorded as of now, so all the other details show a blank template for us. So now we create the customer. So our next step is to render our service. So we can generate an invoice. We can send it to the customer. So just go to the next step, to the customers, then invoices. Invoices is the tab that we are now in. Create the invoice. Just click it here. Click create invoice. Okay. So now I'm not going to select the customer that I've created because I didn't fill all the details there. So I'm going to show you a different customer that I've already created. So I'm just select the different customer. So once you click the customer, all the details that you have entered before when creating the customer are being retrieved here. So that is the important thing that I told you. If you are entering a customer, you better have all the details fed in the system first. So then you're in a position to give a report, or if you are given asked to produce asked to just prepare a report, so every set of details are there. Okay, you don't need to worry about entering, re-entering again. And even if you are not in the organization anymore, even the person who joins can have the 100% picture of the company. Okay, so as I told you, an eminent feature in QuickBooks as a MailChimp software is integration, email automation. So this is also another important feature where I didn't see in Xero. I guess I'm right. So it's basically the product and service. For example, let's say we are an education provider. So we've been providing different streams of services, in sense like accounting, taxation, different courses. So our revenue stream would be segregated into different product categories or different product segments. So if you want to see the revenue in a segmented way, for example, you want to see what is your accounting income, what is your taxation income, because what is your other Power BI income. So different courses that we are going. So you can create different product categories, and the different product categories could be linked to a chart of accounts. So for example, let's say you have Power BI, accounting, and taxation. So those categories could be linked to one of the chart accounts that is called accounting fee. Maybe your main income is accounting fee. So the chart of accounts is linked to different product categories. Okay. So the thing is that if the management wants to see a variance analysis with the previous years or against the other courses, so if for example, the marketing, in our marketing team, they are just like going on a different tracks, just like for accounting, marketing, our accounting person engaging in this, our education side. So like they're chasing after all the accounting students. So the Power BI, they're also on a different track. So they are in a competition. So if they want to see a picture, where they stand today, so they can have the report. Okay. So I'm going to select a different, let's say like a product category that I've already created. So let's say the accounting fee. So you can create different product categories. So let's say this accounting fee, this is for the month of fee for, let's say that this is for tax, right? And for let's say like it's for January. So let's say the rate is 125 and amount is multiplied here and put into this cage. The GST, as we are a provider of education, so we are liable for GST. So different GST categories are there. So we are liable at 10%. Okay. So as Amna explained, we've got different templates, but more or less we are using exclusive of tax templates. If you want to see the customer, the GST portion separately on the invoice itself, so this is a document. This is the template that we can use. Even the other templates also, but like in there, the tax is included. On the other hand, if you want to attach any document, any source document, the purchase order or the quotation that you have sent or the purchase order that you have received, the source document or any other correspondence or the emails, you could attach, as Amna explained in Xero as well. Here also it's available. So in here, rather it's being saved, you can save and send to the intended recipient. Okay, there are other options as well. So other than that, if you want to share it through a link, in the sense like you can copy the link and you can send it off. On the other hand, you can send it through WhatsApp. So different options are there. So I'm going to save and send. So for the timing, I'm going to save it. So it says it's missing a class. So let's say I would select a class. Let's see, it's marking. So you don't have to worry about like what you have done, because if you have done something like if you have done something wrong, so it will be automatically generate a message saying that you haven't filled that particular field, so it's there. So you have created the invoice now. So what you can do is just go back to the interface that we were in. So we've created the customer, we created the invoice. So the management wants to see how much we owe you, we from the customer. Okay, right? So how much the customer owes us. So it's on the report, right? So it's basically appeared in the age receivable or the accounts receivable report. So just go to this reports there. So there are different reports. I would elaborate in detail if you're about to start the sessions with us. So in this, for example, for the time being, I would just like show you this place. Who owes us? Okay. So the accounts receivable aging detail or summary also there. So I would select just the aging detail. So if you would see like, so since I haven't, I've created the customer called AAD. So this is the customer that I've created. I think there may be number of customers. Same customer has been created in different instances. So this is the one. Okay. So this is a customer. So the total outstanding here is there. And also the invoice date, outstanding due date is there, and the number is there. So all the other details are there. So if you want to go back to the invoice, if you want to go to the depth of the invoice, you can just click it here, and you would be directed to page where you can see the invoice separately. So that is about to convey through this accounts receivable process in this session only, because it's just a brief picture. So I think I've just I think we've got a brief idea about how it's happening in accounts receivable, how it's happening in QuickBooks on the accounts receivable process. Thank you for your time. So to you, Daniel.
Excellent, Irina. Do you mean to say we can do this in Xero as well?
Yeah, definitely. Because other than the eminent features that I've told you, there are most of other features are also identical. So QB has unique features, same as Xero. It has also unique features, but more or less the automations and all the document recording systems, reporting, every set of details are identical. So you are just in a second to go through a report. So it's everything is there. So provided you enter and you feed all the basic necessary details in the system. I'm literally telling it. So that is what.
Quite interesting. Excellent. It's quite cool. So, I mean, this is a really interesting piece of information that I can see. I mean, it's going to be helpful for me as well, personally. So, now coming to yet another integral component. So we saw how we create the supply bills, how we issue the invoices to our customers. So, I mean, how are we going to, it brings me to another question now. How are we going to record, these particular invoices and these particular, these receipts in our bank statements? I mean, how are we going to do it? How are we going to record these transactions in our general ledgers? Pumi, can you assist me in this?
Yeah. So hi all. So thank you, Daniel, for inviting me for this workshop. I think this is very interesting session, right? So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So do
I
you
hope it's
think,
nothing like an answer. Yeah, sure.
so do you think in Australia, can we allocate bank fees manually?
I think there should be a different way of getting them across to your bank account.
Yeah, yes, Daniel. So I think for Sri Lankans, the bank feed is a new word, but in Australia, all bank accounts can link to our software, accounting software. So then we can easily allocate the expense and income for the relevant accounts, and then we can do the bank reconciliation as well. So yeah. So now I will share my screen and
Yeah,
show you
sure.
how to allocate bank feeds and do the bank allocation. So I will share my screen now.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, so this is the MYOB dashboard. And I think Amna explained about the dashboard and the tabs in here. I mean, the sales, purchases, inventory, payroll, contacts, and report tabs. So I will directly jump to the banking tab, and then you need to select the bank transactions. Okay, so in here you need to select the correct bank account first, and then you need to select the transaction period that you need to allocate the bank transactions. So in here you can select all transactions, unallocated and allocated. So I will choose unallocated transactions. So for an example, I will take these transactions. It's related to Facebook, and this company using Facebook for their advertising. Then easily we can allocate this transaction to the advertising and marketing expense account. For that, you need to go to here and easily type advertising, and then you can allocate this transaction to the advertising and marketing account. So for another example, I will take this one. This transaction is in deposit side. So it's active air rentals. So this is go to the income account. So then you can allocate this as to the income account. So likewise, you need to allocate all the transactions in withdrawal and deposit side for the relevant period. And after that, you can go to the reconcile. And in here, you need to select the correct bank account and the statement date. And then you need to select all the transactions for that, the relevant period. And in here, you need to put closing bank statement balance. And then you need to check the out of balance is 0. Then you can easily reconcile the bank account. So this is how we can allocate bank transactions and do the bank reconciliation using MYOB accounting software. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Piyumi, for that elaborate demonstration. Now coming back to accounts payable. I mean, we did have a look at the accounts payable, but now coming in the context of Australia, we have Hashini Pereira, one of our senior accountants with a demonstrated history in Australian accounting, managing several Australian conglomerates. So in such a context, I mean, I have heard that in terms of the payroll, it is managed, I'm just curious to know, does the payroll come under the accountant scope? Because, in a country like Sri Lanka, it's managed by the HR division.
Yes, Daniel, good question. So as we all know, in Sri Lanka, we would be having a separate HR department managing our payrolls. But if you are going to become an Australian accountant, it's mandatory that you know the payroll side as well, because in most of the entities, payroll is managed by the accountant. So you have to know the payroll taxes and the payroll laws, everything, so and forth. So it can be managed through the software. So you have to have a knowledge of all the softwares, how it could be managed, the payroll. So even in Xero, QB, or in MYOB, you can manage the payroll in any of these softwares, Daniel.
All right. I mean, that is really interesting to know. I mean, I would really love to see a demonstration if we can do it with the help of Amna.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're an expert in this, so would you be able to assist me in terms of demonstrating these in Xero?
Yes, sure, Daniel. So let me start by sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen now. All right, so let me get back to Xero now. Okay, so payroll, I would like to call it an all-rounder in Xero because it is just one tab with like a complete, the complete pathway for payroll. So where you start entering the employees, right from entering the employees to emailing the payslip, payroll has all in one. So we have the employees where we can enter the terminations or enter any new employee, where the leave, any statutory requirement like the superannuation. So all of that falls into payroll in Xero and that can be processed. Due to the time constraint, I'll keep that brief. So we have the leaves tab, the superannuation tab, and the pay employees tab, which is used to process payroll in Xero. Thank you, Daniel.
Great. I mean, I think we have somewhat got crystal clear, insight in terms of the transactional level of accounting. So coming back to Hashim, so can you tell us what is the final outcome of all that we do? I mean, we got a first-hand knowledge of the accounting softwares from in terms of the basic functionalities, from A to Z. So, I mean, summing it all up in a nutshell. So what is it that we can expect?
Yes, Daniel. So as we all know, all the numbers we crunch, everything we do, at the end of the day, we have to make decisions for the company. So to make decisions, be it an accountant, be it a director, be it a CFO, you will need data. So you will need reports to be generated and you will need so much more. So rather than making reports manually or crunching the numbers manually, when using these softwares, it could be QB, MYOB, Xero, all three of these softwares, you can just in a single click, you can get your reports. Be it your P&L, be it your balance sheet, be it your accounts receivable report as shown by Tilina earlier. So it's very easy. So you don't have to, spend hours doing the reports. So that is what is important, Daniel. So we have to save time as well as we have to be efficient in what we do. So I think one of our experts here could share the screen and show what reports we could generate in these softwares, Daniel.
So who would like to do the honors of demonstrating them? I mean, all of you are experts here. Since we tried Amna, can we have Tilina to do the demonstration?
Yeah, sure then. Okay, let me share my screen first. So first of all, I would like to start from QuickBooks where I started. So just go to the reports. So it's all where like you can see the summary of the company status or the position ultimately. So as I explained, the standard reports, basically those are standard reports where you can see in almost all the softwares. So I'm going to just like have a look in the management reports. Basically, these are all features which are added newly, and if there are some features before as well. So I would say I will go to this company overview tab. So there you can see it's coming up with the templates as well. So you've got the cover page, you can write it on the templates that's there. So you've got the table of contents, so you can just add it if you want some more tabs to be added. And also here, if you want to write a report based on, let's say like it's based on some performance evaluation or your investment appraisal or something. So based on your status, so you need to attach the report. Other than that, you need to provide a report, which is a written report. So you can just write it on here. So your manual data would be added. And also this is a company in a nutshell, like the income statement and the financial positions also they are added. So if you want to change the date, the reports you can add or remove here. So other than that, like, so it's here also notes are there. So just like it's just matter of filling the data and adding the data, provided that you have fed the data initially correctly. So everything is there. So it's just the template, and you don't need to prepare a separate cover view. You don't need to prepare a separate formats, or you don't need to waste time on this aligning those reports here and there. So everything is there. So the only thing is that you have to have the basic data. So in just thereafter, you can save and close the report, then it could be saved. And also you can use this as a what do you call this, memorized report. So where you can retrieve all the time, just changing the period. For example, the company wants to see the quarterly review report each and every at the end of each and every quarter, or a only monthly basis. So you don't need to prepare it again and again. It's a recurring process. So you can just save this document as a template there, and you can just change only the data there at the end of the month or the quarterly. Okay, so you can save the documents. So I'm not going to save it since I didn't save any data there. So that is there. So this is in QuickBooks. So other than that, like management reports also there under QuickBooks. So journal reports. Like basically the reports could be tailor-made. That other than that, like we call this other than the tailor-made or based on your customization, to a certain extent you can customize the reports. So that is also there. So I'm now going to show the reports how to be appeared in Xero. So just go to this accounting tab. There, click it here, reports. So as I explained to Daniel before, like he was asking like a question where we can see all those reports in all those software. So it's yes, but up to a certain extent, unique features are embedded in different software. So here you've got to see different reports like financial performance. So here, one of the important thing is that the budget variance or the budget summary. So based on your, provided you enter the budgeted data before, you can forecast based on your actual, so that you can perform a budget versus actual or forecast versus actual. So based on, and you can perform a variance analysis, and you can comment on the report itself as there. And the tracking summaries, executive summaries. So the reports are almost there. Oh, this is one of the important feature, I would say, fixed asset reconciliation. So as I've been working in commercial sector before as well, so we know that how much an effort we put to prepare the fixed asset register and the reconciliation. So only after we done a physical stock verification, when we are checking the difference against the system. So we are doing a reconciliation against the physical stock verification. At that time only we see that, oh my gosh, like we have not entered the data correctly in the system, or we have missed, or because we are at the end of the period, we are just checking the document. So we are not in a position to reconcile it. And also nobody knows what has happened over the last 12 months. So because everyone doesn't keep everything in your mind over the period of one month, right? 1 year, right? So because of that, to eliminate that, what I call this intimidation, you can use this report, fixed asset reconciliation. So when you're recording the fixed asset transactions there, so you can record the transactions there with all the details, and you can put it to the fixed asset register. At the same time, the reconciliation is happening. So it's just a matter of clicking the report, and you can see what, like, since this is a blank file that we've been using, so we don't have any data set initial fed into system. So you can see the balances here and there, and opening, closing balances, and also the reconciliation in a one go. So it's like saving your time to your important tasks the management wants to see. So as you noted that, like the BPO industry is mainly focusing on preparing the reports to save the management for that time to take the core decisions, attend on their core functionality, so that we can save both of our times. Okay, so it's very much important to see those reports are integrated into the system. So that is a very a unique, I would say not unique feature, other than the reports which are unique. So, but like all set of data are put into a report at last. Eventually, you get the glimpse of picture of the company in one nutshell. So I would say, like, even payroll and the reconciliations, taxes. So the transactions, this is basically the general ledger reports. And also if you go to see the inventory items, also like inventory, stock valuation, and also the stock physical stock verifications, and so detailed report on different item categories. So sales by item. So GST reconciliations, reports are there. So reports are there. It's about you to feed the data initially correctly, then you can save the time via important and valuable time. I think I've briefed you in a summarized way, and I'll give you a justifiable answer, Hasini.
Yeah, Tilina, that was great. So over to you, Daniel, again.
Thanks, Tilina. Now we are pretty sure that our participants are excited to know what they need to know in order, especially if they're planning to migrate to Australia and find their first job in Australia, or working in the comfort of their own homes for an Australian company in Sri Lanka and work in and earning the Australian dollars. So I'm sure all of you are wondering what it's like to, of an insight of what it is like to be a student of Brisca education. And let me now give an insight into venturing as to the typical life of an everyday student in Brisca education. So let me now invite you to have a look at our online learning portal. Before that, let me take you on our website. I invite all of you to follow me in terms of navigating to the website. So let me share my screen. Just give me a moment. There's a technical glitch going on, so it's taking longer than the average time to load. So please bear with me. All right, so let me share my screen now. So let me open a separate tab. So let me take all of you from scratch. So when it comes to logging in to our website, you have to, I will be typing the website address. So it is www.briscaedu.com. So it is www.briscaedu.com. I repeat, it's www.briscaedu.com. So when you enter it, you will be landing on our main page. Okay. So when it comes to accessing the learning management system, the LMS, you should be able to see an option in the middle over here. Since it's kind of blocked, I will just put it as okay, so I've already logged in here. So let me just sign out and let me show you how it works once again. So first, in order to access some of the free resources that we have actually, and it's a surprise because of course you need to know, you need to get some sort of an insight of the life of a Brisca education student. So I'm just going to type in my email ID. You have to accept the terms and conditions, and then you can proceed to start your learning journey. So you can see if you have already registered previously, it will show up like this, that the email ID already exists. So I'll be just putting just in terms of demonstrating. And presto, we are logged in. So this is basically the interface that you should be able to see, once you enroll in our job ready courses. And here you can see a quick start free mini edition wherein you have to enroll, and you can see that it is completely free. So you can just proceed to enroll. So here you can see there are lots of resources available in terms of learning. And let me just go into the introduction. So you can see all of these. And since we are pressed for time, I would not be going through all of these, but it is entirely available at your liberty in terms of readily accessing these free resources anytime you want. Right. So now, as promised, we are giving the surprise now. This is in terms of the quiz, the mini quiz, which I mentioned at prior to the commencement of the session. So in order to access this free mini quiz, you need to create your own account and you need to log in, and then you can have a look at all these resources, these free resources available for you, and thereafter you can proceed to enter the knowledge round and answer these 9 questions. And once you answer it, you'll be getting your results. So in another context, actually, this is really helpful for you, in terms of helping you know where you stand in terms of accounting, which will inevitably help you decide in terms of what course you want to enroll for. Now that we have come to the, towards the latter stages of this particular workshop, last but not least, if you think this was a surprise, I have a much bigger surprise awaiting for you guys, and that is your call for action. This is a once-in-a-lifetime giveaway opportunity for all of you. For the first 5 individuals, the first 5 students who enrolled with us, or was it 6? Okay, someone said 6. For the first 6 students who have enrolled with us, you would be getting this. Please bear with me, as I just show it to you guys. Please bear with me, it is taking a little bit more than the average time.
Seems like the surprise is worth waiting for.
Of course, indeed. So let me take you onto the desktop. In this. And this is the surprise. Yes, you're seeing it right. If you pay and register with us today, for the first 6 people, you would be getting a chance to win a brand new iPad alongside 5 wireless AirPods. Basically, we have several gifts and several surprises lying in store for you. And this is only available until 5 p.m., the 12th of February. I hope you guys can see it. Give me a moment. Okay, I believe you guys can now see it. So once again, yes, you heard that right. These are the gifts, and you know it is not just any iPad. It is a brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab. So, and again, it is all entirely a raffle draw. So please don't think it is a first come first serve basis, but it's only until the 12th of February until 5 p.m. And there are many other gifts as well, which we will not be unveiling all of them right now, but will definitely leave you surprised. So if you can pay the registration fee of 10,000 Sri Lankan rupees before 5 p.m. on the 12th, then definitely you will be having a great chance to be a recipient or a winner of a brand new iPad or 5 wireless AirPods. So when we say the 12th, it is Monday, by the way. So since just so that we don't lose track of the time. So now coming to the questions and answers, let me just have a look at it. Any questions?
Anil, I think it's appearing in Q&A
In the
session.
Q&A.
Q&A.
I'm just looking at it.
So, down there.
Okay.
So you are looking at the chat.
Yeah, in the correct.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so we have received not just one, we received quite a lot of questions, I must say. So I believe Dilan has written, when do you start? So basically our courses, the accounting course is commencing on the 24th of February. So an anonymous attendee has asked, how much do you ask for and what is the office address to scheduling to meet. So please note that this is a 100% remote. This is a 100% online course, and it is being done. It's actually a blend of both local and overseas experts based in Australia. Okay, so this is an excellent question, I should say. What's different in your course compared to other accounting courses in Sri Lanka? Well, if we are to make our course, likely similar in terms of the other education institutes that you get out there, then I'm afraid that we don't need to start this at all. But what's different is we are not merely just an educational institute. We ourselves are an Australian accounting firm. So we have a branch in Australia, and we have a presence in the United States, as well as we have offshore locations in India, and we have 3 branches in Sri Lanka as well. And hence we have the license in terms of conducting these job ready training courses. Because if you look at it closely, a typical education institute cannot just show or do the practical side of things without having a background themselves. And for example, if you have a look at the accounting in Australia, taxation courses in accounting, you will get experience in softwares. We give you the entire access to all the softwares, the prominent softwares over the duration of the course so that you can practice extensively anytime you want. This is just one of the many benefits that you'll be receiving as a Brisca alumni.
Can I add to that, Daniel? So in addition to that, I think one of the most important things is we are not just an educational provider, like what Daniel told. It is also, we are actually, Brisca is operating for 8 years and serving various clientele across Australia itself. So it's not merely a course, it's actually a operational side of it. So I think it's more important that we look at just the coaches coming right from theory side, but here with practical experience, that's more important.
And I think we must mention about the live workshops we do, because we give a hands-on training on all the MYOB, Xero, and even QB. So that is, I think, what makes us different from the other courses.
Yes. And to add to that, reminds me of what Hasini said. This, all our course materials are specifically devised by Australians based in Australia. And these are, I'm not just talking typical accountants, these are all group CEOs, finance controllers based in Australia. And it is, and you would be able to see some of them once you join at our live workshops as well. So apart from that, another integral component would be the soft skills. Certain attributes you cannot typically get off from a theoretical course, especially how you conduct yourself in terms of your encounters with Australian professionals. So these are some of the other aspects of learning that you would inevitably find and would inevitably lead you in terms of taking up a job as a successful accountant. I hope that clarifies your answer. Did your previous students get a job after completing your course? Absolutely. So while I should say, when it comes to the majority of our students, most of them, they have, who had intentions of migrating, they are now settled in, jobs working remotely for Australian companies. Some of them did migrate to Australia, but some of them said, we are already earning lakhs and lakhs in Sri Lanka, why have the need to migrate? So I would say it all depends on each of you guys' personal journey. But yes, definitely. And obviously, the whole point of this training is to give you a successful job, actually. That's why our courses go as job ready training courses. You're only studying pre-accounting stuff. Okay, can we become an Australian accountant, or should we have any other qualification? Yes, we currently we are doing 3 of the most prominent accounting softwares, because here's the thing: the likelihood of getting a job, not just in Australia, you can think about it globally, right? Because QuickBooks, Xero, and MYOB are 3 of the softwares that are used by over 90% of conglomerates both large scale and medium scale entrepreneurs worldwide. So, teaching another software, would be helpful as well, but compared to getting jobs, it would not be quite sufficient. Because let us say, not just Australia, any country you are, over 90% of companies are looking for experience in these three accounting softwares, which would mean your chances of getting recruited you're doubling your chances of getting recruited 100 times.
Just to add to that, I think you need to have your basic accounting knowledge to become an accountant. So you need your, the double entries and your accounting knowledge, even though to become an accountant, first, that is the basic things.
The minimum requirement we see is a basic level of understanding in terms of having a commerce mathematics knowledge. Actually, if you're good in maths, if you're good in commerce, sure, you can join us. Because from my experience, I do know that credentials, it's not entirely going to take you further beyond a certain level, because the rest of your journey is entirely in terms of efficient and practical training. Because if you're looking at a job, it's going to take you at least 10 to 15 years in order to get the experience that we are giving you in a span of 3 months. Is there any possibility of joining with you and work? Of course. So if I'm being really transparent with all of you, definitely you have a chance to work. We have actually recruited a lot of our students who have performed well, at our courses to our own company, Brisca BPO, because there is a certain level of commitment we expect from your end as well. The consistency in terms of your attendance, your performance, in terms of the assessments, the exams. Because not just us, any recruiter would love to have a person who is efficient and productive at work. Simple as that. So another attendee has asked, if you are working from Sri Lanka, what will be the hourly paid rate? It entirely depends, I would say, on the person. It entirely varies on your skills and your competency. You perform well, you grab as much knowledge as you can, and then obviously you can expect your pay to get double. So the duration of the course, it's a span of 3 months, actually. The reason we have carefully, after years of extensive research, we have given this duration, because I believe it best suits what all our students need. Because when it comes for that wait in terms of getting your visa, in terms of migrating to Australia, this is an excellent thing that you can take on. And it's whether it be a student who is waiting, after impending, O-level or A-level results, this helps you bridge the gap in terms of straight away getting a good job. Because let's be honest with you, there's always a certain amount of knowledge that is willing to be given to you working at a corporate company, and there is always a certain amount of knowledge being withheld from you. So upon enrolling for our courses, you'll be getting everything from A to Z, and you will have a better understanding of it when you work. That's the entire objective of our courses. So to add to the duration of the course, our course is typically consisting of both recorded and live workshops, which is the most prominent. So our live workshops are typically on Saturday, and wherein you will be tested rigorously by both local and foreign experts. So Mohammed Afkar has answered, will we get job provided by Brisca? Again, I believe I answered that question previously. It entirely depends on your company and your competency, because it's like this. It's all, it's basically common sense, because any company would like to hire a student who demonstrates as much performance and efficiency. That's why companies offer scholarships. That's why we do offer scholarships as well. And inevitably, we absorb the students to our company itself. as much as all of us would love to answer and take on all your questions, I see there's quite a lot of questions, and I'm afraid as we're running out of time, we would not be able to provide the answers to all of them. But you could I always invite, I invite you to drop a message to us in terms of mailing us or even via WhatsApp, and I'll be more than happy, and all our resource personnel will be more than happy to clarify all your questions for you. So that brings us to the end of this session. And in terms of the mini quiz, once again, do let us know if you want in terms of getting to know your results. And if you have any questions in regards to that, you could always DM us on WhatsApp. And yeah, and also don't forget about the special offer that is available readily. From now onwards, it's up for grabs. It's entirely a raffle draw. So we have not just one, we have around a couple of many tabs that are waiting for you to add to that. And we have several iPad pods as well for you. So again, thank you all for tuning in to this session. And I'm sure that all of you found these indeed and insightful and filled with revelations in terms of Australian accounting, alongside grabbing an insight of prominent softwares. And we look forward to having as many of you join our upcoming intake and being part of our family at Brisca Education. So without further ado, thank you and for tuning in, and hope to see you all soon at probably another workshop. Thank you.